Off we go.
All right, welcome to tonight's Off the Lip Radio Show. Tonight we are having Aaron McKinnon on the show. My name is Kylan Winter, and I have the opportunity of co-hosting with TC tonight.
Woohoo! Welcome to the show, everybody.
TC.
Welcome, Santa Cruz Waves.
Much better looking co-host.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Right? Our host tonight's stellar.
Let us know what our guest is all about, please.
Yes, so tonight we have Aaron McKinnon on the show, and Aaron is a fantastic paddler. He swam at Cal Poly. Aaron also works for the EU in Italy, and he is a Santa Cruz native. He's grown up here and did junior guards, and he's really an inspiring member of the community.
Thanks, Kylan. Yeah, I actually know Kylan well because we paddle together. Her dad and I have been paddling for many years. I'm really excited. First time meeting TC, but I know his family already, so I'm super excited to be on the show.
You went to school with his daughter.
Yeah, I went to
Yes,
high
sir.
school, right? All the way through school.
Yeah, all the way.
Wow. So he's like my son almost, I feel like.
Right, and he's yeah. If you'd known earlier that he was that TC was the father of your friend, would you have shown up?
Oh, of course. This is the coolest place, and this is like the center of Santa Cruz. So, yeah.
Interesting fact, everybody, about Aaron is he is a winner of the J Race here in Santa Cruz, correct?
Yeah.
What year?
That was 2014. Yeah.
And how many times did it take paddling before you won it?
I started. Man, my first J race was in I think 2002, and I didn't know who Jay was yet. But then I just did the 2 mile as just a young paddler, junior guard paddler, and then every year since then I had done it. And then I think 2010 I started getting serious, and finally after getting third, second, I finally won, and was happy to experience that with all the people that had supported me.
And maybe you can tell our viewers about paddling. There's a couple sizes of boards, a couple classes. What size board were you riding, and what's it called?
Yeah, so I ride an Unlimited, which is an 18-foot board. It's all carbon fiber, and it's a really old sport. It's like a lifeguard sport that the Hawaiians, the Australians are really into, and it's building in California as well. And we basically just paddle for long distances in different conditions, downwind conditions, yeah, it's a great sport. Yeah, so I paddle, like I said, in a limited, and there's different classes, stock, 18. Kylan and I both paddle, and it's a natural transition from swimming. We're both swimmers as well. And yeah, it's just a great sport with a small community, but a really, really tight community that takes care of each other, looks out for each other, and goes out in some gnarly conditions. So we all respect each other as well.
Exactly. Now, Aaron, you told me that you were 14 when you did your first J race. How did you get into paddling, and what was your motivation to go out and compete like that?
Yeah, so I started paddling because of junior guards, like so many people in this community. We were all influenced by that program. A lot of us were brought up in it, and paddling just resonated with me for whatever reason. I liked being on the line with my friends and having this board that you could go out into the ocean and compete with. And I just kind of wanted to do it. No one else was really doing it at the time, my age. And so yeah, I just decided to go out, and it was great because once I liked the sport, but I think it was the community members themselves which really made me stick around. People like Frosty, of course, who was my mentor for a couple years, Kim Moriarty, who has just been so kind to me ever since I started, and she brought me into that community. And Dave King, who unfortunately just passed away, was a big influence in my paddling career, helped me with training, and he was, the first board I ever paddled was Dave King. So just a lot of really just just a tight-knit community and people that are there to support you, and that's why I wanted to stay around.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So you got the second and thirds at the J race.
Yeah.
What did you know? What did you have to do through that next year to get to that first place position?
Yes.
What did you change in your training to take that little step further?
So I had to win the J. I knew that one, I was getting past in the downwinding conditions, and downwinding is just when you turn against the wind and the waves start coming, you surf essentially. So you're paddling less and you're surfing more, you're tucking into different waves and connecting waves. So you don't have to paddle as much, and you're saving energy and you're going a lot faster. So I just practiced by myself throughout the winter. I'd go out and in any condition and just put the time in on the board was really what it was. As swimmers, we practice more than probably any other sport. We're just in the water 5 to 8 hours a day. And so I knew it wasn't like a cardio thing or it wasn't a matter of how much time I was putting in. I just needed to stick on the board. And that's actually when I got connected to Kylan's dad, because her dad, Jarrett Winter, is this gnarly All-American swimmer. And he was the guy that would go out with me in big winter storms, and we'd train together. And yeah, it just made things a lot easier to have a buddy to go out with.
You know, we've done the J race. I
we
did the chase boat.
done. I mean, we
Yeah,
strength.
in the media boat. So like when you won, the year you won, I was the boat that followed.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So, but we watched this race.
Yeah.
My opinion, the people who win are the people who never slow down.
Yeah.
You know, it's the conditioning aspect. And there's some beasts who, over the years, I've watched win that race. And so I know what it takes, and I've watched that level of paddling. You don't stop. You start with the same speed you finish with.
Yeah, and actually every Saturday I would do the J race for time, and I knew the record, and in secret I was breaking the record every Saturday. So I knew I could do it, and that's just all I was focused on. I think some people, because it's a smaller sport, paddlers, there's not as many of us, not many people can dedicate that much time to it. But I just wanted to win the J. I wanted to win the J because Frosty was so influential in my life, because Kim was, and it was sort of a win for Capitola. It wasn't just a win for myself or anything like that. It was just a
Local boy.
Yeah, because the park guys, they bring their water polo cronies up here. I've seen those guys, and so taking one for the hometown team is great. I want to get back to the 18-foot board.
Yeah.
That's a boat. I mean, that's like CF numbers boat. I know that it has some steering system, and you carry a GPS, maybe water.
Yeah.
What else is on it?
Yeah, we've got water bottles on it. It's got a tiller system on the back, which helps if you're going long distances to just track against currents or against wind. And yeah, it's this little self-contained unit, so you can go for long distances and put 4 bottles of water on it. Actually, I paddled on Bark's team, which was great. He was super supportive. The Surf Tech brand was super supportive with me too. Duke in particular.
Right.
And yeah, it's just a really cool, unique sport that you can do anywhere. And I'm hoping actually when I go back to Italy to bring a paddleboard there. The girl that I think got second that Catalina raced.
Oh, yeah.
Lives near me.
Cornelia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's paddlers in Italy already, and I hope to bring my board there. There's a lot of races in France. And that'll be a shorter board, that'll be a stock. But it's just a cool way to connect with people all over the world, and just like any sport, I guess. But
And where are you in Italy?
I'm in Milan. So there's a big lake next to me.
Oh, okay, so it wouldn't be the Mediterranean to be on a lake.
That's right, yeah.
And have you seen paddlers on that lake?
No, there's some suppers and some rowers, but never. I think I might be the first cone paddler in my Lago di Monate and Lago Maggiore in Italy.
Wow. And so let's get to the EU.
Yeah.
I'm dying to find out what the European Union to me is like working for the U.S. government, but maybe a friendlier situation. What is your job, and like how did this happen to you?
Yeah, so I work for the European Commission, which is the executive branch of the European Union.
Spy.
Spy, exactly. Maybe I'm a spy for America, though.
I smell a rat, TC.
Actually, no, I have to take there's a long security and safety course I had to go through. And I'm a communication agent, so the European Commission is the policy wing or branch of the European Union. So they make laws, they deal with the day-to-day comings and goings of the European Commission. They do things like how do we respond to COVID-19. They're the reason I can't go back to Italy right now, because they've banned U.S. citizens currently, but of course I will return. So yeah, I work for what's called the Joint Research Center, and policymakers make decisions based off, hopefully, evidence that is delivered to them by, in this case, this supranational lab, kind of like we have our national labs like Berkeley and PNNL up in Seattle. There's one giant lab of 3,000 scientists on the outskirts of Milan, and we produce knowledge to help policymakers make decisions on whatever they're dealing with at that time.
I know being here at the boardroom, we get a lot of tourists, and foreigners often ask me, what do you think of Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of that working for the EU?
Yeah, because I did my master's in Denmark and Germany, and I got that a lot there. Pretty much every single person in Germany had an opinion. I think because they're very informed. They watch news globally. But in Italy, I got less of it, and that was kind of nice. I think it was the most welcoming. There's just There's a lot of cultures that are, a lot of people are moving to Italy. There's a lot of different cultures even within Italy. And so they were super accepting. It's like, here's just, I'm not an American, I'm a guy from Santa Cruz, you know, and I'm a swimmer and I'm a surfer, and that's what they see in me, which is really cool. Yeah.
Milan seems very high fashion. Are you fashionable in Milan?
Well, yeah, it's weird because I would never worn a suit before. It'd be kind of weird to wear a suit in Santa Cruz. But in Italy, I'm in a suit and tie every day. It's definitely the
Fashionable.
uniform. Yeah, it's the fashion.
He's also a
Yeah.
model.
Well, so you're doing a little modeling over there too?
I'm not over there, but I was in the past. When I graduated, I became a model, and I was kind of talking to Catalina about this story. It started as like an interest in multimedia. When I was at Cal Poly, I hosted this show called The P, which is for Cal Poly, and we looked at daily life in choosing a major and all these different topics to help prospective students make a decision about campus and or about choosing Cal Poly as their university. And I wanted to stick in that field, and one of the ways to do that was through modeling. So I went to the biggest agency in San Francisco, and they said, look kid, like, it's great you want to do this, but there's a lot of other people that want to do it too. So go to this smaller boutique agency for 6 months, and if you're still here, we'll sign you. So I went to the smaller agency and just did as much work as I possibly could. Came back 6 months later and signed in San Francisco. And then once I was there, I got into more the film and acting industry. There's so many commercials that are filmed there all the time. One of my good friends, Connor, is there. He's an actor, and he's full-time commercial actor. Does things for like Facebook and yeah. So it's just a really cool niche that's just an hour away.
Not too late for us, TC.
I think it is too late for us. So in Milan, do you have a tailor? Because you seem tall, so you're a custom fit suit, I imagine.
Yeah, the Linieri in Milan is my go-to suit. Yeah, they're great, and I'm always underdressed. You know, there's always someone. It's called sprezzatura. It's like this kind of nonchalant but well-dressed man that's walking around. You'll see with glasses and kind of a ruffled tie or something, but still looks elegant.
Always got the glasses.
Yeah, I mean they've just got it all dialed in. Yeah, I'm just learning this stuff. So.
But you're enjoying it.
I love it though. Yeah,
All right.
Everyone's so kind there. So.
And is the EU is that the future for you? Is that something that you're long term?
Yeah, I really hope so. I got to the EU because I wanted to bring an experience back to Santa Cruz. Part of my mentorship with Frosty which was really geared towards community involvement as well as sports, was to bring something back into the community because I've gotten so much from it, and I've learned so much, and I've grown so much, and I've been supported, and I hope to add value to this Santa Cruz and Capitola place that I grew up in. So I wanted to go abroad as sort of an obvious way to do that, and I did my master's in Denmark and Germany through this program called Erasmus Mundus. And when I was in Germany, I worked for or I did some consulting work with the Bundestag, which is like their government essentially. And I was focused, or my work was, and my research was focused on climate science communication, so understanding how different audiences respond to and relate to climate change information. And I just loved that they were so open to it. They were really eager to involve scientific evidence into their decision-making process, into their outreach efforts. And so I wanted to stay there, and the European Commission has these great internships. They're called Traineeships, and they're 5 months. And I just started as a trainee. I got lucky that they needed a native speaker, and I'm actually the only American there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really tricky to get hired, and then they kept saying there's no way to get hired full time. But I pushed and networked and just did work for other people and gave presentations and got a job full time. Actually, I have 2 jobs. I work full time as a communication agent for this program called Copernicus, which is a satellite system similar to NASA, and I work for the Disaster and Risk Management Knowledge Center, where we monitor and provide information on every man-made and natural disaster to different response agencies across the world.
Wow.
I thought you were going to come talk about paddle.
I thought it was just a paddler.
Just a paddling dude.
Yeah,
He swims a little bit. Hang on a minute.
Well, now you're kind of Italian. I mean, are you, because you're the lone American, are you just become one of the family over there?
I'm slowly becoming that. I think they know now that I'm going to stick around. last year I was swimming with my buddies, my master's swim team, and they were laughing at a joke in Italian. I'm learning, but I'm not that good yet. And one of my friends turned to me and he said, Aaron, you need to learn Italian. You know why? Because we talk in Italian, we learn in Italian, and we love in Italian. I was like, oh, okay, my man. Yeah, so
Is that a hard language to learn?
it's actually similar. You know, I think most of us grew up learning Spanish in school, and so it's there's a lot of similarities. And it's easy there because I'm just I'm in Italy, so it's easy to
Sink or
practice.
swim.
Yeah, and Germany, I really had to learn German. That's Denmark. Everyone speaks English. Germany, everyone speaks English, but not everyone wants to speak English.
Right.
And they definitely prefer German. So.
What do you got, Caitlin?
Oh,
Kylan. How about that? I said Caitlin. I keep looking at that piece of paper
butchered
too.
her name so
Why do we
bad,
butcher?
I
Why do we just?
swear. We need to give her a nickname.
When I saw her surfing the other day. She's paddling towards him. I'm like, oh shit! What the hell? K something. We should have a bucket here. Every time we screw it up, we should put $1 in.
oh man, it's like the swear fund, like when you're.
Yeah. I know. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, Erin and I were talking about this earlier, but when Erin was in Germany, he was telling me about like how he had to give a presentation to the German Parliament, and how that really just shaped his desire to continue in this path that he was in, and continue to advocate for climate science and communications with the foreign powers. So, what's your take on, why did that motivate you? What was your sort of motivating source behind continuing your education, continuing your foreign and abroad study? What was that?
Yeah, I think that's a really excellent question. I got interested in research specifically because I was interested in how people understood plastic pollution, which now is such a big topic. But in 2008, when I started researching it, there wasn't as much science behind not just plastic pollution itself, but also how people related to it and how people responded and tackled this issue. When I got to Germany, I had a really supportive professor who helped me publish my first couple papers, and she worked for this unit that it was a big consortium of researchers focused on climate science, and there was a little wing that focused on communicating, delivering that science to different audiences, and what they found was just because you produce knowledge doesn't mean that different people will accept that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and so I was drawn to it because as someone who studied communication, I studied it because I knew that multimedia was this great avenue for connecting with people in different ways, and appealing to audiences that might not necessarily understand or might not necessarily be open to certain types of information. As an example,
Yes.
my thesis was on Anthony Bourdain, the late Anthony Bourdain, the travel show host for CNN. I was really enamored with the way that he didn't just go to a different culture and talk about how different it was. He went there and talked about how the local people live their daily lives based on the social structures that were around them, their politics, their access to food, their existing culture, colonialism, all these different things. And I wanted to align myself with that in some way. And as a communication officer, I think I'm able to do that. I'm able to weave in the priorities of, for example, the European Commission into the stories that I write for the Disaster and Risk Management Knowledge Center, for Copernicus Global Land. So yeah, there's been a way to achieve that, and I think it all started with just being interested in plastic pollution, something that I see, even both of us are ocean paddlers. We're in that environment all the time. So coming from Santa Cruz, we don't just develop an appreciation for it, but a deep respect and I think a sense of responsibility for taking care of these areas that we call our playground, but also are home to a lot of important species.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It seems like we're going in the right direction a little bit.
I think so,
Single-use
yeah.
bags disappearing, water bottles slowly, hopefully, continuing to disappear.
tell Penny Creamery that though.
I know, well, that's paper, and it really gets to me. I got a change the topic just a little bit.
Yeah, please.
Now that you're Italian,
Yeah.
What's the Italian car that you wish you could have?
Yeah, I've had a bike for the last 3 years just because I've been a student, and I finally have enough to get a car. So something small, something tiny, because those roads are so narrow. I mean, hopefully you can carry a paddleboard, but
Oh, maybe you gotta get like one of those little scooter things.
yeah, that's what I'm doing. A scooter with like a
Well,
paddleboard holder on the
Would
side.
it be one of those little Fiats or something? And what is that? I've never been to Italy. I don't know which cars you see on the road all the time.
You gotta have something
Mercedes maybe or something.
Just
or-
not trucks. It's so weird to go from Santa Cruz, which is all trucks. I drive a truck. To anywhere else in Europe, and no one drives a truck, and so you just want a little car, something that'll get you from A to B.
And fast.
And fast, and you can fill it. You can fill it up with IKEA stuff on the weekend.
And a paddleboard might strap on the roof.
I sure hope so.
But
Yeah.
you're riding, like you said, a 12-footer now.
I am. Yeah, that's so I can bring it to Italy, essentially. I'm borrowing Kylan's 17-foot board. I've been borrowing that for the last couple of months.
It's alright. It's not in use, so he's doing it justice.
Well, thank you.
And that's an unlimited.
It is. Yeah.
17? Okay.
Yeah, it's your mom, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
She's
my
awesome.
mom's.
Yeah, she's so
You're
easy.
How'd you get from Cal Poly to the EU? How did that? I mean, you didn't see the gig in Craigslist. I mean, how did you get from that to from school, university? Now you're you're working in the EU. How was that journey? How did you get that journey?
It was a grind, and it was something that it was a labor of love, though, for sure. I think everything in my life has been, every big step in my life, I've just taken a moment to say, okay, I've gotten this far, let's see how much farther I can go. So for Cal Poly, I wasn't going to go to college. I was going to go to Cabrillo, and that's great, and swim for a couple more years. But then I just had a really good season, my first season of swimming, and I got accepted to Cal Poly, and so I said, let's just do it. And when I got to Cal Poly, I said, let's get good grades and let's swim. And I swam in Pac-12, and we beat Santa Barbara for the first time ever. And, and so there was a lot. And I just had a great, amazing team. And then when I was done, I'd worked for a little while in the multimedia industry. I was doing some modeling, and I was also doing some media production work, some gripping, anything I could do to just piece together that life. But without a master's, especially in Europe, no one really listens to you. So it's you kind of have some weight behind you. It's like another ticket. If you're advocating for something, in my case, the science communication. And so I decided to look abroad and look at what are some exciting journalism programs, and I applied to this program called Erasmus Mundus, which I just briefly mentioned. And I wanted to go there so bad that I flew there and talked to the professors. Fortunately, the day before I left, I found out that I got into the program, and it was just perfect.
Wow.
It was just an amazing opportunity to live in 2 different countries, to study political science and to study journalism. And then once I got there, I got connected with this great professor who I worked with. And as I said, worked for the Bundestag. And again, I just took a step back and just said, well, what else? I made it here. I'm so happy, but what else can I? Oh, sorry. Yeah. But what else can I achieve with this? And you're working for the European Commission was a step that I wasn't sure was possible, but was fortunate enough to make possible with the support of a lot of people. My parents, my brother in particular, has been super supportive of me. I got really sick for about 4 years, and he's revised all of my CVs. He's edited a lot of my papers, my thesis.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a skater. He's in Hawaii, a rock climber, and so we do different sports. But I think I have a lot of communities. I have my paddling community, my line dancing community, my
Hold it.
Line dancing.
line dancing.
Wait.
Line dance in Italy?
There's a little bit. There's more actually in Germany. I was surprised. Yeah.
Is that where you got into it?
I got into it in
Can we see a couple steps?
But I went to a wedding and I practiced a little line dance.
Oh, did
Oh,
you?
God.
I did.
Yes.
No, but what I'm saying is, I'm just so.
Here, drink this.
Okay, I got another quick question. How tall are you?
I'm 6'5".
So in Italy, do the Italian ladies like 6'5" male model line dancers?
I think Americans are just like, oh,
Really?
oh man. It's
So
not
you
even
got
that,
all
it's
the ammo,
small.
and they're like,
Yeah,
no.
No, they don't.
Sheesh. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
So where did the line dancing come in? Is that Cal Poly?
That was Cal Poly. I worked there for a while afterwards as a multimedia coordinator for their university after I was an intern, and yeah, I just kind of got into that culture there, which is Cal Poly is an interesting place because it's right in between the valley and the, you know.
It's
and
very rural, country
Yeah.
town. Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's Pismo and there's Montana de Oro. There's great surf spots all right next to it. So you get both, you know, a mix of people. And at first I thought line dancing was ridiculous, especially coming from Santa Cruz. Like, yeah, if I wore cowboy boots here, I'd get yelled at. You know, it's just not okay. Which is, you know, you got to maintain your culture here as well. But yeah, I tried it a couple times, and then I just fell in love, and it's a lot of fun. I'm not a huge fan of country music still, but I love dancing and
Well, you can put a lot of style in line dancing.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is that you can flair
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah, you can make it your own, and
I would have bet big money, everything I have. We weren't going to talk about line dancing tonight. Right? There's no way.
We thought we were having the guy who won the J race
Yeah,
on.
I was talking.
Line dancer. So is there a country bar in Italy? Is that where you line
yeah,
dance?
there's generally just like dance club will have like one night a week. There's line dancing. And Milan has everything. You know, it's just a big city.
Italians are dancers.
Italians are
Yeah.
great dancers, and more salsa and ballroom for sure. But yeah, I mean, Italy's just been a great place to live. Each place, you know, has its own warmth, and in Italy in particular has just been the easiest to integrate into for sure. Germany was, especially where I lived in Hamburg, was an industrial city. Everyone's there to work and grind, and that was good when I was doing my master's. But and I had great friends there, but it was a little more difficult. In Denmark, I think they're okay with Americans. You know, at least my friends were just so nice. So, but I get to bring all these different things. I get to learn things when I'm there, and I get to bring these things. So I taught some people line dancing there, and I got to swim and do races all over Europe, and so it's always an exchange of cultures.
How did you get through college? You were swimming.
Yeah.
Takes a time vampire.
Yeah.
Little surfing, little line dancing. You were doing a little film stuff.
Yeah.
How did you even survive?
I think Kylan's, you're about to go into it, Al. Yeah, good luck.
Listen to this.
Yeah, good luck.
He's gonna tell you how to
I
do
take
this.
notes on this.
Yeah.
But I think it's always good to have something that's just your own. Like for me, my team was so incredible, and I bonded so closely with my coach and my fellow swimmers. I was the captain for 2 years. I fell in love with the sport, absolutely. But I had something that was on the side that was just my own. For me, that was this band called Rabbit Skeleton. And now they're doing their own thing. They're the Monroe, and they're in San Luis Obispo. But they were just this bohemian band that I came across one day, and they were singing these crazy protest music against the Diablo Canyon power plant, which actually my dad was working at. But yeah,
Sorry,
I mean,
Dad.
there's two sides to every story. So yeah, and I connected with them, and I had like my own time, and I had Cal Poly time. And so yeah, I did. I went to school and I swam at least 5 hours a day, and did homework, you know, for at least 4 hours a day, plus school 4 hours a day. Yeah.
Well, you're running out of time.
You're running out of time, but you find those pockets where you just do something that's just for yourself. And I think for me, that was this random band called Rabbit Skeleton, they're now my great friends, and very Santa Cruz-y. You know, it brought me home.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Colin, what you got?
Yeah, exactly. I was passing it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so also Erin, like we were talking a lot about like just like the things that you're into, and one of the other interesting aspects about yourself is that you're really into producing producing videos and focusing on other like local little local niches.
Yeah.
And just showing those like how. And you told me that like when you were a model, you got to see like the talent side, and then that inspired you to go and become a producer.
Yeah. So working on as an intern, as like a video guy, and then also as a model on some bigger productions. Nothing too big. I'm not famous by any means, but just even in the background as an extra, whatever. You get a sense of how things operate. And yeah, I wanted to do some of that on my own, and so I created a series on volunteers around Santa Cruz County. The first video was on the Lovely Ladies, this wonderful group of women who clean up the San Lorenzo River.
Oh, they're awesome.
Yeah, they're so great. And every Saturday, and then I interviewed this guy in the Nicene Marks Woods, if you've ever heard a donkey running through there, he's got this animal therapy program.
Yeah, he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
There's just some amazing people in this community that are just tucked away in every corner, and I wanted to bring light to their stories, and so I got to do some filming with that, and that really helped me. I mean, that helped me get into my master's program, because that was you needed to be a journalist to get in, and I wasn't, but this counted.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's just given me a cool avenue into people's lives that I'm interested in, and I think other people would be interested in as well. And great that you've already heard about them. So
Yeah, no, that's awesome. My wife's brother went to that camp. He was disabled.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and he has had a lifelong love of animals
Yeah.
from that program.
It's wonderful.
And I'm not sure it was wait, how long ago was it when you filmed that?
This was.
He was still
six
the
years
guy was in
ago.
a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if what was his name? I forgot his
Oh
name.
my gosh, yeah.
He went by.
Wow, it's been that long, yeah.
But anyways, great
Okay.
program.
Yeah.
And this Dragon Slayers?
Dragon Slayers,
Dragon
animal therapy.
Slayers. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anybody wants to look that up, look up the Dragon Slayers, and
Yeah.
it's an amazing program. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So now, when do you go back, and when do you want to go back to Italy?
Yeah, well, I mean, I do miss my home's there, my community, my other community is there, my swim team, but it'll be a while. I think it could be at least a couple more months. As you mentioned, Europe is not letting Americans back in right now. Luckily, I'm a resident, so I can go back, but still, it's tricky. But
Quarantine.
yeah, with quarantine, yeah. But man, I've just been loving being back in Santa Cruz. I've been able to paddle. Catalina, I've been going at least a few times a week. And I've just been going on runs and seeing old friends, just connecting with people, getting to see my brother, getting to see my family. And yeah, so I like being here right now. And I'm going to milk this and just enjoy this as much as I can.
It seems like Italians are also more fit than Americans. Do you agree with that?
I think Americans are
Yes.
just, yeah.
Obesity.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, well, I mean, I get that a lot, like, oh, Americans are this way, this way, and it's good for Americans to travel, not just because we learn, but we also get to inform, because a lot of what they're seeing is just the media, you know, and so they maybe never met an American, or they've only met a couple. So it's important, for myself especially, as someone who's going to all these places, to give a different perspective, which is that, yes, Americans, you know, we have extremes, and we're just a big country, especially compared to Europe. You think of like Denmark is like 1/300th the size of California.
Right.
It's just a big area, and we've got a lot of issues, but we're dealing with them, you know, in different ways, because it's just the fabric of our very multicultural community is so different. I forget, and I'm stealing this, but some president said that, you know, you can go to another country and you can live there, but you'll never be that nationality. You can go to America from wherever you come from, you'll be American. So I love that, and I love explaining just the different types of people that live here and how big we are, and people, once they come here, they love to talk about Yosemite, and everyone's been to Santa Cruz.
Right.
Everyone's surfed here. You know, that's
Not everybody eats at McDonald's. Every
yeah,
day.
you know,
Yeah.
there's so much to offer, and we're lucky that in Santa Cruz we're in you know, the most beautiful place in this country. Of course, an opinion, but I've never been to New York. But you know, it's just a total gem, and we're so fortunate. And a lot of people have been here, so it's something I can connect with, and something that I can explain and hopefully exchange ideas with, rather than just telling someone something. Yeah.
One more question about line dancing.
Go ahead.
Before we move on.
Yeah, you go.
Do you have line dancing specific clothing that you wear?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Yeah, and those have like fancy stitching on the pocket.
I just have I mean, I have my Ross jeans or whatever, but I have my area boots for
Okay,
sure.
you got your special boots.
Yeah.
You wear a hat.
I do, and you have to earn a hat. So
You
don't
do?
Yeah.
How do you earn a hat?
You can't just go buy
We're
one?
learning a lot
You
today.
show up with a hat. I mean, everyone's got their rules. The equivalent would be like showing up with a longboard at, you know, the lane or something. Like it's just the wrong. You just don't, you know, or showing up with a gun at the lane. Like, oh, you better be serious.
Right.
And so, if you have a hat, it's something. It's a whole like ritual. So what happens is, you get into that circle of line dancers, and they're people that are doing it like 3 or 4 times a week. So they're super
Passionate.
into it. Very passionate, amazing dancers, so talented. You see them line dancing and they're texting. They're not even looking. They're just
Know by heart.
Yeah, they just know
Well,
by
I saw
heart.
that. I went to a wedding in the Central Valley,
Yeah.
And they were fantastic. There was this one dude that had moves I couldn't believe.
Yeah.
And I just want to let you,
Yeah.
he was dancing with like 5 girls.
They're
And
rocking it.
my wife and I were like, we figured it out. Like, if you're single, you better line dance in the valley. You'll be a hit.
Better line dance well.
Exactly.
That's
That's,
right,
it.
that's right.
Not
Yeah,
just being
'cause
ordinary.
I was a hack, and nobody was. They're like, this guy's drunk. That's what they looked at me like. He's been drinking. I was totally sober, but I was dancing terrible. Okay, so we have the boots. You earn the hat.
You earn the hat. Yeah, you can't
And-
just wear one.
And then, do you have like pearl buttons or
No,
something?
no, I
you're
mean,
not.
I'm still from Santa Cruz. I can't be too
Okay, so you're not
black,
like, you're not blowing out.
No, no,
Okay,
no,
all
no,
right.
not
Well,
too
because
bad.
you
I wear my Ghost Rider shirt every time I line dance.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
of course,
All
yeah.
right.
It's
Okay.
just-
I just wanted to,
Yeah.
I'm picturing this.
Yeah, it's different for sure.
And did you have your hat with you in Italy?
No, I didn't bring anything there. Just because I didn't expect there to be anything. And honestly, like, because I'm working 2 jobs right now, I'm just kind of grinding. It's just like a very austere life, which I really love. I work, I swim on the weekends. I work more because when I was applying for, or when I was a trainee, they kept saying that I couldn't get hired as an American. And so when I was networking, I was putting out a lot of trying to create opportunity for myself. And the very last day I got 2 offers, one as a consultant that's part-time, 20 hours a week, and then one that's full-time. And I just was so nervous, especially in this crazy job market, to get a job, and I just took both. And it's been great. and it's
Greedy.
cool. It's been really cool because as a science communicator too, I get to develop this resume that's focused. One is on the built environment. So there's this pilot project I'm working on that's renovating across Europe this aging infrastructure. And that's one very costly to renovate, and also it consumes a lot of energy. A lot of these homes are energy inefficient. Exactly. And then the other project is Copernicus with the emergency service, and then also the global land service.
Italy has earthquakes.
Yeah, they do. And so this is the retrofitting job is particularly relevant to Italy, Greece, a lot of different countries in the EU. And it's cool, we have this amazing lab that tests different structures. So the research center itself is this amazing place. If you're ever in Italy, I highly recommend going. There's 2 nuclear test sites, there's or they're research reactors, and there's like every kind of research facility, including this giant earthquake testing facility where they put buildings on this shaker and test it. Yeah, it's just really great to see, and it's a great tool as a communicator to visualize the problem.
awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Off to you.
I got my question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had Kylan.
Good job.
Thank you. We had Kylan on the show 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing
Yes.
Oh no.
person, woman, right? I think it was a kid. Where is she? You know about her.
Yes.
Where's she going?
Yeah, Kylan has already achieved more than I ever have at her age. So she's already competed at Worlds for paddleboarding. She's going to an insane university. She could have gone anywhere she wanted, and she chose what was right for her, the team that fit with her, which is just an amazing choice. The swim team, I should clarify, which is very important in college because you're working hard in school, but you're also asked to do a ton of physical work every single day and perform, and also for your scholarship, and you earn that with your grades. And I mean, Kylan didn't just get in because she was fast. She got in because she was crazy fast, and because she's extremely smart. And works really hard.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So it's she's got a much brighter future, but it's it's cool to paddle with her now, and her and her dad, or her
Right.
dad and I will continue paddling behind her in the future.
Right, I saw a picture of you and her dad and Jeff Denholm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff is another. If I can take a second to talk
Sure.
about
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Absolutely. We love
Yeah,
Jeff.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Hope he's not listening because his head's big enough as it is.
that guy. Yeah, Jeff. I met through the J Race, and man, at first I just thought, like, here's this guy with this really strong personality. All these girls were all over him. I was like, who is this guy? And then I met him, and he's one of the purest souls I've ever met. He's such a kind man, and he's so driven. I mean, he's creating this company that stands to change the entire firefighting industry. He's replacing.
Yeah.
Yeah, his ecologically good
Yeah.
retardant.
Extremely, yeah. And the guy, I mean, just the more you talk to him, he wouldn't just tell you all at once. The more you talk to him, you hear these stories about all the things he's accomplished. He was like a world-class body surfer and downhill skier,
Yeah.
and he still is. And Maverick surfer. He moved here. He moved from the East Coast to Santa Cruz to surf Mavericks, and Frosty mentored me for a couple years, and I feel like unofficially. I mean, Jeff and I are just good friends, but I feel like unofficially as well. Jeff has mentored me with my career. He's so savvy with navigating that environment, and the way he speaks, the way he communicates, the way he negotiates is something that I've been trying to glean and trying to learn from, and he's been super kind with.
Is that the same guy that was skateboarding around here?
Yeah, he skateboarded
before the show?
Yeah.
Was it the same guy?
The funny thing with Jeff is this is funny, is that if you heard his stories, you would call bullshit.
Yeah.
But then you're like, they turn out they're all true.
Yeah.
Yes,
And it's
right.
like, there's no way in this point of his life he's done all this.
Yeah.
And
Right.
he has. So, you guys, that show's also on our website if you want to listen to Jeff Denholm.
I saw that skateboard you gave him.
Yeah, he's
So that's
very
very
excited
fun.
about his skateboard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah. Yeah, he skateboarded around the store, and his whole story is amazing.
Yeah, he's just an amazing guy, and he's so giving back to the community. He's been so great with me, and I think he keeps me around because he likes to paddle with me. But yeah, I've learned so much from him, and he's indicative of a lot of different characters in this community. You know, he's just very involved.
You also did the Catalina race, right?
I've done it a couple times, yeah.
And to me, that race is kind of terrifying. Because I seem like if there's a overcast day, you can't even see where you're going.
Yeah, well, luckily, unfortunately, I didn't ever win, so I was just following someone. Yeah, it's actually, the 2 years I've done it have been just wonderful. They're glassy.
Lucky.
I got super lucky, yeah. And the first year I did it, it's almost an emotional experience because it's so taxing on your body.
Yeah.
And
Have you done that?
No, I have not, but my dad was actually in the boat with
Yes.
on his support boat,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he was telling me all about how Aaron was just tackling that race, and it took pretty much like everything that you had. Like
yeah,
he was showing us pictures and videos of Aaron. Like I think like he was just showing us like how Aaron was just that look on his face, like when he showed us a video like after Aaron was like vomiting like
Yeah.
for a little while. He just had this like look in his face where you know that he was so done with
yes.
just everything, and he wanted to quit, but you know he kept going, and he had that attrition in him. And honestly, like for me, Aaron has been probably one of the biggest inspirations that I've had in paddling. Like for me, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but like after you won that J race, like I was watching you and stuff. Like I did the 2 mile or something, and then I decided that I wanted to go out and do the 12.
That's awesome.
So yeah, no, that was
His fault.
That's his fault. Yeah.
Carly, have you ever thrown up paddling?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
so it's this as a normal event?
It's
So
a normal event, but he was throwing up like profusely.
A lot. So what would make is it just exhaustion? Was it saltwater intake you were getting?
Yeah, it's funny. There's like the last 2 miles. There's this big oil, like natural oil leak, and that just, I mean, when you've been paddling for 5.5 hours and it hits you, you just like everything just kind of wants to shut down. But yeah, I think that was.
So the oil leak made you throw up.
I think
the
so,
oil on
yeah,
service.
yeah.
How ironic! Your whole life's dedicated sort of to that. You know.
Yeah,
in the ocean.
it's getting one at me. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
And the second year, I got a new board, and Jarrett was on my. I had to have Jarrett on my boat again. He's so motivated. Jarrett's been through that, and can talk. He's the only person that can talk to me when I'm feeling that miserable.
How long does that take?
It took me. It's like 5.5 hours.
Do you eat?
Yeah, I mean, I was eating like Fig Newtons, and it was just But I mean, it can take up to 8 hours or more, just depending on conditions. Yeah, it's just it's a grind, but it's
Wow.
really fun. And like we were talking about, the community is what brings us back to those types of events.
Right. Is that a goal to do something a race like that again, or are you over that?
Yeah, no, I would love to. I've never done Molokai. It's logistically difficult to get everything over there. It's the same distance though as Catalina, but the conditions are extremely different.
Bucket list,
Can
Molokai?
Bucket list, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Bucket list, Molokai?
Totally.
Okay, all right. And What board would you paddle for Molokai? Would it be a 17-footer for that?
It would depend. Maybe a 17-footer. I might stick stock, but whatever it would be, it would require a lot of training. And if I would, I'd love to train with Erin because
We would crush it. Yeah.
Well, for you going into your 4-year college swim team, it seems like conditioning-wise, you should be pretty good without actually training on a paddleboard.
yeah, I will be. I'm gonna be preparing to like get into pretty much, as I'm assuming it's probably gonna be the best shape of my life, but it's gonna be like the hardest training, and it's gonna be 4 years of just straight grinding basically.
And Erin, you did 4 years of college swimming.
I did, yeah.
Is there always a fear? Maybe you can. This is something that we can talk to Kylan about. Is there a fear of not making the team?
Not, well, I signed, both of us, we signed to our university, so we can't go to another university, but they guarantee us something.
Is it like not starting on the baseball team? I mean, or is it? Can they say, "Boy, you sucked last year"?
Yeah, I mean, there's always pressure, and I mean, you always want to improve yourself. The reason someone like Kylan gets to that level is because you put, even if you're like a calm and cool person, you put a lot of pressure on yourself to perform well, and so I think most of the anxiety, if there is any, comes from within, because you just want to perform, and that's, you hate to lose, that's what makes you
Makes
so
you
good.
try harder?
Yeah, for sure.
And is that how you feel going on this? That you're going to try harder just so that you can
Oh.
make proud the people who have entrusted you in this?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like, there's always that, like, for me, there's always that possibility that, I just always have those doubts that, like, what if I can't do this? What if I can't do that? And what if I'm not improving? Like, that's, like, I know that I will improve, but that's just one of the things that's, like, in the back of your head. Like, you always want to try harder to do your best. Especially because when they recruit, they're recruiting the classes below you also. So they're recruiting someone to essentially replace you.
Take you down.
Exactly. And that's always something that, you're dealing with mentally, and you're just going to have to cope with the fact that they're always trying to better the team. And you're a part of the team. You're not the whole team. So that's just kind of something that you have to think about,
Yeah.
And what was yours? I know you were a sprinter.
Yeah.
What was your gig in swimming?
Same, sprinting as
Oh,
well.
you were a sprinter as
Yeah.
well. Oh, okay. Best time in the 50 meter?
50 meter, I think it was like 20.00, and the best time in the 100 was 44.6, I think.
Which is real. That's meters. I mean, that's like.
Oh no, sorry, that's yards.
Oh no,
I
yeah.
wish it
I was
meters.
gonna say. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Meters was 23.12 or something.
Were you far from the Olympic
I
times?
was, yeah. I was 0.03 off the trials, but even if you make trials, you're still pretty far away. Those guys are insane.
Yeah.
I've never said this in front of Kylan before, but if there's any Olympic hopeful, and there's been a lot of talk of different people over the years, but if there's any Olympic hopeful, it's Kylan and her sister Tanaya. I mean,
Wow.
both of those girls
You heard that here.
What are you checking your head for?
No pressure.
No
Too
pressure.
much credit.
Yeah.
So maybe we're making a little bit of like a prediction, right now? Okay.
Shaking
no,
your head.
No pressure.
Yeah, I've never said that because I don't want to put pressure. And I think,
Thank you,
yeah, I think
I really appreciate that.
Well, it sounds like you've earned this. And I don't have a lot of history of your swimming, but I know you've been recruited to a 4-year university and you dominated regionally. And so I would hope that with you have trust that maybe she can do that.
Yeah, I really do. And I've seen a lot of swimmers. I know, not personally, but I know what it takes to get to that level. And she has it. I think one of the best things you have is like you keep a balance. Someone who's been swimming for so long and at such a high level can get burned out, but you do paddle still. You cross train. You enjoy the water that swimming. In a way that swimming allows you to do. Surf big waves, paddle gnarly conditions. Like she just paddled from Greyhound Rock to Mitchell's in like storm conditions. She just did it, like that's 16 miles of brutal. Yeah,
it was nothing.
Not many people can do that. Even gnarly surfers are.
No, that downwind stuff's a little sketchy. I mean, how many times did you get ejected? Was it?
I actually was really careful on that race because, like, I had my phone with me because my parents needed to track where I was because there wasn't any support boat out there. So I was pretty proud of it. I didn't fall in, but I was a little bit more cautious on that.
Well, you had your phone with you, and everyone, the phone is number one.
Honestly, like any teenager will tell you that. Yeah, it was actually really fun. And I mean, downwinding, you're expecting to get ejected, but yeah, I enjoyed that one. It was fun. And Aaron was there with us taking pictures. He couldn't do it because he's going through like some medical stuff right now, but honestly, just to like have him there supporting us was really, I thought that was really impressive.
That's awesome. You know, for the viewers, when you came on the show last month, we talked about your shark encounter off Pleasure Point.
Oh.
Have you ever had an encounter with anything wild while you've been traveling?
Yeah, and of course it was with Kylan's dad. Her and I live right across the street from the Brighton Beach. That's where I launched from. And that's like the little shark sleeping ground or whatever it is.
Shark Park.
Shark Park, yeah. Exactly, yeah. And I'd seen a couple, but I'd never been that close. And one day, this one just fat great white just came cruising up right under us and followed us for 15 minutes. And I wanted to freak out and go, start cursing. And Jarrett, this big, huge, all-American swimmer, Aaron, just stay calm, just keep doing what we're doing, we'll be fine. I'm like, this is huge. This shark's as long as my board.
So you have a giant shark just tailing you.
I can touch it.
And Jarrett's
yeah.
like, don't worry about it, just keep paddling.
Yeah.
That's a coach right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's a coach.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to the beach. We're not done.
Yeah, we're not done. We got to get our paddle.
Screw this shark.
Yeah.
So how big a shark do you think that was?
It must have been at least 16 or 17 feet. And and they're out there. It's weird, but it's been. I was a junior lifeguard coordinator a couple years ago, and a junior lifeguard instructor. And of course, as someone who's in charge of the safety of a lot of children, it's important to watch these things and see how they develop. And it definitely has been changing over the years. I mean, I'm not a shark expert, and there's a guy in this town who is. But as someone who's paddling in that environment all the time, there's been more of them, which is good. I think it's not great for junior guards, and we had to change some things up. But there's been more attacks than I've ever heard of with yourself.
In the last year, you both had an encounter.
Yeah.
And we had Chris from Specialized Helicopters on the show, and he sees the sharks. He's the blue helicopter.
Yeah.
He says they double every year. So when he sees from the helicopter, so we're gonna hear and see more of it.
Yeah.
How we interact with them will be the question.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Before we end the show, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
If you want, TC, 10 years, what do you see yourself in 10 years? Because you're obviously going this direction, and do you see staying in Europe, or what do you see yourself in 10?
The next 5 years, I really want to try and just continue to grow and develop in the field that I'm in, and then hopefully take that experience back here and become involved in some way, whether that's working for the State Department here or getting in some type of government job. I think there's a lot of good work to be done. There's a lot of good people that I want to.
Or a
support.
liaison with the EU,
Exactly,
we always need people. I feel like it's probably needed more so than ever to become a team with the EU. I feel like there's a little bit of a ruffle there, and I feel like we need to rope it in a little bit.
Yeah,
So there might be a great opportunity.
Would you go to
hope so,
Would you go to politics at all?
I would love to, yeah.
Okay.
I think I've had a lot of good mentors in that field, and it's something that I need to learn more about. But it's an exciting place, and I think
cool.
politics.
10 years for him is going to be interesting.
I know, huh?
Sky's the limit. I mean, I just met you, but I have no clue where you're going to be in 10 years. Like,
Rather than see him, at the Civic Center down here on the city council, or at the Grand Ole Opry, right, doing line dancing.
Yeah. Well,
Both would be great.
you got the physique for a politician. Tall as in, So I think that's would be you have a calling. You'll find it.
Thanks,
Neil, anything else?
That's it. Good show.
Anything else?
Well, Aaron's gonna do well no matter where he ends up. He's gonna inspire so many more kids like he's inspired me. And honestly, I'm just excited to see where he goes. He's gonna be great.
The feeling is mutual, Kylan, for sure.
Yeah,
Thank you guys.
Yeah, both of you guys have a bright future. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. It's a great show. Kylan Winter, great guest hosting tonight. Aaron, thanks for being on the show. It was awesome. Next week, who do we got?
No, we got Thursday. We've got Alex Acero and Don Caruth and Ted Welty, the trio on my deck.
Beautiful.
And then Sunday, across the street at Chill Out Cafe with Jake Nielsen and Triple Threat.
Tune in for that, folks.
Nick Lamb's coming on.
Nick Lamb.
Pastor Renee Schlepfer's coming back.
Awesome. We have some great guests.
Bunch of music coming up, bunch of great guests coming up. Manu Koenig's coming. He's trying to vie for the Santa Cruz City Council, supervisor seat.
Wow.
So a bunch of great guests coming up.
Great
Looking
shows
forward to
for
it.
you guys. Thank you for tuning in on Facebook Live Santa Cruz Waves. T Fox, thanks for having us. We will see you next time on the Off the Lip Radio Show.
And I'm going to blow this up real quick. Oh, where's my glass? Here we go. Captain John Rivera of Cobalt Bankers. You know, have you seen what he's doing?
Are you on this way?
Yeah, I did that one. Captain John Rivera somewhere in Wyoming right now. Surf City Sandwich, I want to thank Fig. Thanks so much for Fig. You guys been there? Surf City Sandwich?
Oh, it's
Thanks,
delicious.
Fig. Merge for socks.
I'm wearing them.
Got 'em.
Actually, today I have my J socks on.
You do?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Chill Out Cafe, where they?
roll the
They
fatties.
do. Beach Nest Vacation Rentals. If you want the perfect vacation pad in Santa Cruz, no better folks to call than beachnest.com. People's Coffee.
Oh, Curtis. Thanks, Curtis. Since day one, he's been following.
Simply the
helping us
best coffee in town right there, 17 the Bromer. Pizza One in Aptos, which I've been staying out of.
out. You sure?
Have you been there yet? Dude.
After a swim practice, so
Yes, the Pizza One in Aptos. The Carlita's chicken, Carlita's sausage pizzas to die for. Jamie Jansen from Santa Cruz Core. Abby's going to work at my butt on Friday. I can't wait. She gives a great massage. Aloha Island Grill. I want to thank Numa from Aloha Island Grill on Patola Drive.
Numa.
Listening Stack, custom-made earplugs. If you guys need ear surgery,
we will.
do not. You need to go to Listening Stack, get yourself your custom-made earplugs that you can actually hear. Who else we got? The Wave Clock, TC. I want to thank Craig from the Wave Clock.
Great Christmas present. Think
Great,
ahead.
great present. TheWaveClock.com. The Kayak Connection. Dave Grigsby, thanks, Dave. You can go catch a kayak, ride a kayak at the Santa Cruz Harbor or Moss Landing. Santa Cruz Mountain Brewery. I want to thank Emily.
You miss Amber down there, huh?
I miss Amber, dude.
Yeah.
I gotta have my Amber. And one last but not least, that same bastard that steals all my freaking waves,
That
Sean
guy.
Rovi from Farmers Insurance.
How's that shark ankle bracelet doing? Is he still using that thing?
If he saw a 17-footer,
What if it bites his ankle and he has it on?
I could not. It's unbelievable.
Is he really still wearing it?
He's still wearing it. He's like a
Can
child.
you bring that
He
to
looks
the
like a
show?
child molester.
I wanna see-
Ankle bracelets.
I want to see what the shark ankle bracelet.
I'm bringing it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna come down here. 462-322-2222. Sean Rovi, Farmers Insurance. Catch the show at offthetradio.com or anywhere you find your podcasts. Good night to you all.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.